what if you found out, let's say you met a guy and he was like super rich and super wealthy and stuff? Because someone who's just on the show just before you came, she was like, she said that would turn her off because she knows what that lifestyle is.
Okay.
Because they're always around these gorgeous girls, blah, blah, blah. But obviously it means he can provide a certain lifestyle that less than 1% of men can, right? So if you met a guy and by the end of the day you found out, say literally you found out he was like a billionaire, would that make him more attractive? Like, would that turn you on more, or how would that play in your eyes?
Do you know what? In all honesty, it wouldn't make him more attractive to me. Because...
I mean, a little bit? Come on. A guy's like, hey, I can fly out my private jet to Italy tomorrow.
I've had guys like that.
Okay.
I honestly turn them down. Like, my friends would always be like, oh my God, you're so crazy. Like, why'd you turn that guy down? He's in a private jet. And I'm like, I can't explain it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but if I'm not connected to you, for me, it's the connection. It's the connection. It's the energy. And it's also who you are as a person. Like, I really look at the character, the morals. Like, what's your moral compass like?
Of
you
course.
know, that's so important. I don't care if you're flying in a private jet. I really don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't mind flying economy. I really don't.
Hey, you heard it, man.
As long as I get the window seat.
I think this time last year, I don't know if she would have said that, you know. I don't know if she would have said that.
Growth. Here's the thing. This is the way I see it.
Yeah.
If the guy is great and I feel really connected and happy with him and safe with him.
Yes.
And then he so happens to be a billionaire. Oh, amazing.
It's a bonus. Huge
Brilliant.
Bonus.
Yeah, we're going to have a great life and he'll take me, you know, on first class, whatever, private jets. But it's not the end all be all for me. And it's not it's not like the criteria, because I had been with men like that. I had met men like that when I was living in Dubai, even here, like when I was in my dating phase, I would go on dates with people like that. And for some reason, I was just like not impressed. And I tried to sort of figure out why, because when I would tell my friends or something, they'd be like, but he's a billionaire. He's on like Forbes list. He's, you know, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I generally don't care. And I've not even like, I'm not even the type of person who's like come from money or like generational wealth or anything like that. You know, my parents were Moroccan immigrant parents. They came to this country.
Yes.
They worked really hard to try and give me and my brother a great life.
Yeah.
And I had a normal upbringing. I went to a normal secondary school.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with that. I think it's just who I am as a person and I guess my values, like.
Yeah. Do you think, how much of it do you think is part of it because you've tasted that already? So it's kind of like when you have an abundance, when you have a level of abundance with money, is when you realize money really isn't everything.
Right.
But if you don't have that, if you're struggling, money is everything.
Yes, I
do you
know
see
what you mean.
saying?
Yes, and I met girls who had come from basically poverty.
Right.
Coming to Dubai to build a life for herself, to hustle. And I don't judge anyone, you know, like that's your hustle, and like you got to do what you got to do. And I understand why those girls would probably latch on to the guy. But I think because my whole life, you know, I lived quite a pampered life. You know, my parents always gave me what I wanted. I was never left without.
Yeah.
I lived like a pretty normal childhood. Like, and
so it's like a guy who can give me what I want. I've always had what I want. That's not new for me.
And also, and not just that, I think it's my career as well. I think my career was able to take me to a lot of places that a lot of girls didn't get that chance to do, because obviously what I do for a living, it opens up a lot of doors. I get a lot of access to, you know, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like I have met so many high profile people. Yeah. I've met so many incredibly successful men. I sat down and interviewed politicians, like all kinds of people.
Yeah.
So just because you're a billionaire, that is not going to make me go, wow, let's get married. I want to be with you. I think because I see success. I know success. I'm cultivated. I'm well-traveled.
Yeah.
I'm very intellectual.
You're very acclimatized to men at that level. So it's not really like, it's not.
I'm like, what else are you bringing to me? Bring me something of substance.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to see that.
100%.
And then when I see that, and then you're a billionaire, great. Then I'll be very happy.
Do you think for a girl to get to this point where she's not so swayed by the lifestyle a guy can provide for her, do you think she has to taste it first? Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm going to flip that a little bit.
Go for it.
And I'm going to say she doesn't have to taste it. She has to work on herself. And she has to get to a level as a woman where you can look yourself in the mirror and go, I'm really proud of myself. I've been able to create a beautiful life for myself, and I didn't need men to do it for me. So I always say to girls, especially young girls growing up now in this generation, dig your heels in deep, especially in your early 20s. Make something of yourself. Like, just make something of yourself, because when you have a career, and I know we sit here and we're like, men don't care about career, and it's not about the man. It's about you.
For you. It's got to be for you.
For you. 100%. Because if it wasn't for my career, I wouldn't have been in the places that I went to. I wouldn't have had access to all the incredible, things and experiences that I've had. And I wouldn't be at a point where I can confidently go, I don't care if you're a billionaire, bring something else to the table. It's the fact that I am so what's the word? Like,
rounded, experienced, educated.
Yeah, experience sounds a bit horrible to men because, I know they don't like that. That's very triggering. Oh, she's experienced.
Very well experienced.
I'm cultivated. I'm well-traveled. I'm
seasoned.
Yes, I bring a lot to the table. And so for me, just because someone had a bit of wealth, like he's a billionaire, he's on Forbes, or he's this, like, most of the time it's generational wealth. It comes from your parents.
So true.
That doesn't impress me.
Yeah, people don't realize that most people in the upper class, like 90% of them, it's purely inherited wealth.
Exactly.
They didn't work to get there.
And that does not impress me one bit, because it's like, that's not going to show me who you really are. Like, did you go through struggle? Like, what's your story? I like to hear people's story. And it's like, most of these men, like, they're just rich and they have all this money. And the problem is, what's happened is, because they have all this money, they don't feel like they need to search within. They don't need to dig deep. They don't need to show the woman who they really are. Because maybe they don't even know who they are. Their whole life, they're just led with their money. Yeah. And so when they meet a girl like me, for example, they're just like, oh, she doesn't like me. Whoa, she's not obsessed about me because I've shown her better money. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm really not.
I think one thing that we sometimes forget to realize is that growth often, the biggest growth comes through adversity.
Yes.
And when you've inherited so much wealth, etc., where everything just comes to you, you've not really faced that much adversity. So there is no growth that you've had to do.
You don't really have a story to tell.
You don't have a story.
What story are you going to tell us?
You don't have an origin story. We
want stories.
Yeah, of course.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.